Hi guys, welcome back. I'm sorry it's been such a while since I did a video. I'm afraid I vastly overestimated how much I was going to get done before my trip to China, so unfortunately I only managed to get the one video ready and out there for you guys. I will be doing a vlog about my experience. Unfortunately the camera I took with me to film, when I held it far away from me, the lens was still too big, so you only got like this much of my face, so I filmed it on my phone. I actually don't know how to make phone videos into a video yet. I don't know how to put them together, but bear with me, I will teach myself and then I will post it and you can see all about my travels, including some rather funny videos of me eating suspicious items. But yes, it was a trip of a lifetime and I'm very thankful to have had the experience, and I met some wonderful artists who shall remain friends forever. So today I have to thank Katie Brewis for giving me the idea, but I'm going to do a video on Bobbi's brushes, which are the tools of the trade and my babies, and I literally couldn't do my job without them. So I thought I'd first discuss with you the basic brush collection and then show you the brushes that I would add to that to make your perfect starter kit of brushes, either for use personally or indeed professionally. So the basic brush collection, you get this, sorry mine are well loved and a bit manky, you get this canvas brush case, whoop, which holds all your brushes in. Thankfully it can go in the washing machine for a zhuzh once it's got covered in makeup as mine do, and in that you get a selection of brushes, first of which being the face blender brush. Now this is a natural haired brush, it's a goat hair. No animals are harmed in the making of these brushes, it's simply hair that is brushed from the animal, and this is brilliant for any setting powder at the end of your makeup application, or indeed for gently buffing your makeup together to ensure you've got a really blended finish and no harsh lines. It's a very good all-rounder, so brilliant for powder, bronzer, blusher, or simply blending. I also really like this brush for shimmer brick and highlighter, so it's a really good one to have in your starter kit, as it's a brilliant powder brush, multi-purpose. The next brush in the basic brush collection is the classic foundation brush. Now I absolutely love a flat-headed foundation brush for both compact foundation and liquid foundation. I often will use the very tip of the brush and really blend makeup into the skin, and this is particularly useful when working with clients who have maybe slightly larger pores, because you can use the head of the brush and the tip of the bristles to really work the makeup into the skin. And also this kind of brush blends a little bit of foundation a really long way. So I'm still a huge fan of the very classic flat head foundation brush. And this is Taclon, it's a synthetic fibre, and that is essential so that it will kind of pick up any liquid makeup and transfer it to the skin. If you try to do liquid foundation with a natural haired brush, you'll find that the natural hairs absorb the foundation and it doesn't lay onto the skin quite as easily. So love it, and it's definitely a makeup artist essential. Then in the kit, this is where I'm slightly embarrassed, you also get a concealer brush. I looked high and low and I can't find my concealer brush. So in the basic brush collection you get the concealer brush. I'm going to show you the one I use all the time, and that is the concealer blending brush. Oh, look at my bronzing gel on my hand. It's a slightly wider, flatter headed concealer brush, and I prefer to use this purely for speed. So I go into my corrector and concealer and I sweep in the inner corner of the eye and underneath, and I find that you use very few strokes of this brush to lay down the colour, and then as always I use my ring finger to set the makeup into the skin. So although the kit comes with the concealer brush, which is very similar, it's just slightly narrower and longer, I would purchase a concealer blending brush also. It's a brush I use with every client actually. Okay, also in the basic brush collection you get the eyebrow brush. Now this is a hard bristled brush, and that enables you to dip the head of this brush into powder and very gently brush fine strokes through your brows, following the direction of the growth of the hair to achieve really natural looking brows. I'd say what's important to note about this is when you're using it, you want to use, I wonder if I can show you, you want to use, hello chaps, the edge, so kind of the corner edge, rather than the actual very flat head bit. I'll try and demonstrate. If you use the very flat head bit and use it flat into the brows, I find it gives quite a splayed, diffused brow look. However, if you use the angled edge, you get more precision. Hope that helps. If you have any further questions about the brow brush, don't hesitate to book in for a brow grooming session at Bobbi Brown, and they will show you how to use that properly. Also in the basic brush collection, we have this eyeliner brush. Now this is a brilliant brush for powder eyeliner. So Bobbi's always taught that powder eyeliner is a really easy way to achieve a bit of definition at the root of the lashes. So you'd simply dip the head of this brush into your powder shadow and then sweep all along the lash line and underneath if you wish. And it's also great if you want to do a stronger powder liner. You can dampen the head of the brush, dip it into the powder, and you'll get quite a strong finish. But it's a brilliant essential, again one I use all the time. Okay, and then the last brush in the basic brush collection is the classic eyeshadow brush. So this again is a natural hair. This helps to pick up any powder pigment, and then you can very gently buff over the lid to create the desired look that you are looking for. Let me now start going through a couple of my other key essentials. First things first, girls, look at me. I love my bronzer, therefore I'm obsessed with this beautiful bronzer brush. And what I love about this bronzer brush is that whilst the top is cut flat, the edge of the brush is really nicely tapered, and that is cut by hand. And the joy of that is that it means that when you come to apply your bronzer, you will always get a really diffused look and a blended finish thanks to the shape and cut of the brush. Because one of those cardinal sins that some women achieve, unfortunately, is they'll use a smaller headed brush to apply their bronzer and end up with go faster stripes, which is a look we're not wishing to achieve. So if you've struggled before with bronzer application and you fear you get a slightly stripy look, try this beautiful, dense, flat cut brush, and honestly it saves you so much blending effort because the brush does it for you. I also love the blush brush. So you can see it's shaped really nicely and again hand cut to kind of taper to a point, and this allows you to get really easy blush placement. It's not too big, meaning you don't get too much pigment in too large an area, and the way it's cut means when you smile at yourself in the mirror and place it on the apple of the cheek, that is exactly the area that the brush will cover for you. In terms of application, I love to push one side of my blush brush into my blush and apply the colour, then turn the brush to the clean side and use that to blend any colours out. So again, that's an essential. If you want slightly more precise placement of blush colour or indeed highlighter, then the sheer powder brush is the brush for you. So it's not as dense, and it's longer and thinner, and it's brilliant if you're trying to use a highlight powder for placing powder high on the top of the cheek. Also, as the name alludes, if you don't want too heavy a powder application, this smaller, slightly looser brush enables you to dust just a little bit of powder through the T-zone. I love it actually for getting into little nooks and crannies for setting makeup and using that stippling motion. So again, the sheer powder brush is another of my essentials. Okay, full coverage brush. This is one of our best selling brushes at Bobbi Brown, and I've got to say, honestly, initially I wasn't sold on the idea. Now it's a daily essential. And whilst originally I loved it for my Skin Weightless powder foundation, now I love it on myself and on clients as a liquid foundation and a creamy blusher applicator. And when it comes to foundation, actually, I generally do more of a stippling motion to really blend it in and work makeup into the skin, and then I'll often do swirling motions to ensure that it's all blended. Same with cream blusher. I tend to tap the brush into the cream blush and then work at patting it into the skin in this kind of motion, and then I may indeed kind of buff the edges. But I love this brush and I love using a stippling motion to use it. Okay, I'm trying to work out what are my absolute essentials. This is a new brush and I love it. It's perfect for shimmer brick, highlighter, blusher, and that is the angled face brush. Again, it's cut on an angle, which is super helpful. It's not too dense, it's super soft. And again, if you're trying to apply a highlighter, you can smile and you'll see the taper means it fits and hugs the contour of your cheek perfectly. It was designed and launched with the Nude Finish illuminating powders, which you all know I love, and it's brilliant for applying that because it's slightly firmer set than the face blender brush, so it picks up a little bit more pigment. But yes, it's a new brush, but it's quickly become a favourite brush. Back to eyes. We have the eyeshadow brush in the basic brush collection. I also love this, which is the angled shadow brush. I love this if I'm trying to add a smoky liner to the lash line. So I'll dip the head of the brush into my dark shadow and then I'll buff all along the lower lash line, dragging colour up. It's also probably my favourite brush for applying shadow under the lower lashes because it's cut on an angle. You can slip it under your eyelashes, but also the fact that it's not too skinny means that it gives a really nice diffused, slightly smoky finish. You can use it as well as a contour or a crease brush. However, I actually prefer using, don't run away brush, I actually prefer using the soft headed eyeshadow brush to do my eye contour crease colour with. Okay, this is the Smoky eyeliner brush, and this is something that I partner a lot with my ultra fine eyeliner brush. I'm a huge fan of using the ultra fine eyeliner brush to apply gel eyeliner, and then the Smoky liner brush for smudging and blending that liner out. It's also a really useful brush if you are just starting out with gel eyeliner and you're nervous about any hiccups or snags in your liner, because if you do have a little mistake, you can go straight to your Smoky liner brush and buff the edge of the snag, and you will again soften the edge of your liner. So it's also great for using with powder shadows when doing lower lash line liner or indeed top lash line liner. However, my most common use for it is for smudging gel eyeliner, and that's a look that I adore. Another brush I use a lot is the touch-up brush. Now, again, it's nice and it's cut flat and it's relatively dense, so it's brilliant for getting concealer or foundation blended around things like corners of the nose, around the chin. It's great for stippling concealer into any blemishes. I also love it for blending longwear cream shadows on the lid, whether I've used, say, my beloved Rich Caviar longwear cream shadow stick. Although I'll often use my finger, you can use the touch-up brush to blend those, or whether it's something like Beach Bronze, which you saw in my previous video, which is a longwear cream shadow in the glass jar. This is actually brilliant for blending that. There is a specific blush for that job, and that is this one, and that's the Cream Shadow brush. So again, a synthetic flat-headed brush, which is great for applying any longwear cream shadow. So yes, love them both, but in my essential kit will always be the touch-up brush. Last two from my essentials, and that is this, the full coverage touch-up brush. It's a brilliant, soft, again, dome hand-cut brush, which is brilliant for just, again, stippling in any final touches of concealer. And it's this brush that enables you to do that stippling that really does help hide the appearance of makeup, and that's what Bobbi is so keen at doing, at creating base makeup that looks flawless and seamless and as much like skin as possible. And this brush and the ability to stipple and work makeup into the skin really does allow for that technique. Then I'm going to finish with the brow grooming brush. So it's a dual-ended brush, and on one end you've got the brow definer, which is a mixture of synthetic and natural hair to apply the brow gel with. And on this end, LR bronzing gel hand, we've got the brow groomer, otherwise known as a spoolie wand. So a bit like a mascara wand, this is what you would use to brush your brows both before and after any brow product application. So there we have it. Those are my key brushes that I would suggest all makeup artists out there have in their kit, and that would be fabulous for anyone's personal collection. Of course, there are others in the collection that I haven't mentioned. I'm just looking down and I can see in front of me a face brush, brilliant powder brush, the eye sweep, which is a brilliant base eyeshadow, get it all over brush. What else have I got in front of me? Here, the ultra precise eyeliner brush, which is great for getting really skinny gel liner and really good for creating flicks. What else is in here? Maybe that's it. But yes, Bobbi Brown brushes are brilliant. You just need to make sure that you look after them adequately. Now, in terms of brush care, in between uses, I swear by this stuff, the brush cleansing spray. So all you do is once you've used your makeup brushes, you then spray this stuff onto a tissue. You then sweep your brush gently over the tissue, and I hope you can see I'm using kind of a left and right, back and forth motion, and that will significantly clean the brush. What you don't want to do is take the brush and apply pressure in a downward motion, because that will cause your brush to splay and you'll lose that shape that it's been cut in. So this spray works for all brushes, whether you've used a powder on a bronzer brush or a gel liner on an ultra fine liner brush. Just spray your tissue and then wipe the brush over it, and it will get that makeup off. For deep cleansing, which for makeup artists, honestly, you should do every day after brush use, but maybe for individuals at home, once a month, twice a month, I can't recommend enough the conditioning brush cleanser. Not only does it completely clean brushes, it antibacterially coats the brush hairs. So really it's a makeup artist's essential. When using it, simply run your brush under lukewarm water, squeeze a bit of the brush cleanser into the palm of your hand, and then again using a left and right back and forth motion, make sure you saturate your brush head in the cleansing product, and then run it under the tap, and be sure to encourage the pigment and the conditioner out of the brush. So make sure you rinse really, really well. And you can see here I'm pulling the water out, and while I do that I'm maintaining the natural head shape of the brush. So I'll always run it under the tap, kind of encouraging the soap out, and then rinsing. I'll often get a flannel or a towel and again do some left and right, back and forth motions, and that encourages any of that last soap to come out. Give it a final rinse under the tap, being sure to not get the metal and the wood bit wet if possible, because you don't want to interfere with the glue that holds the head on. So don't just hold the whole brush under the tap willy-nilly. You want to ensure you try and only really get this head of the brush wet, and then leave your brush, wring as much water out as possible, again trying to maintain the shape of the head of the brush, and then leave it to dry over the edge of a surface overnight. If you leave the brush to dry flat on a surface, actually the brush head will dry in a funny shape because it will have lent on the surface. So you want to leave the head of the brush dangling free to the air over the edge of a worktop or windowsill or something overnight to dry to the air. I've tried in a panic to dry these beautiful brushes with hair dryers. Don't do it. Don't do it. Your brushes will be all kind of crazy, funky, splayed, misshapen. Leave it to dry to the air. The one other thing I do, and that's to help maintain the fibres of my ultrafine liner brush, is if I'm working in store, I will actually often go and grab for my hydrating rich cream cleanser, and I'll put the tiniest pea size in the palm of my hand, and with my ultrafine liner brush just work it into the cleanser and then remove with a tissue. And that's just something I've done in the whole 10 years I worked for the brand, and it maintains really, really healthy looking, good looking ultrafine eyeliner brushes, which in turn is great for precision eyeliner. All right. Long-winded, but I hope it's helpful to all of you out there who maybe had questions about Bobbi Brown brushes or about makeup brushes in general. They can be pricey, but they are so worth the investment. Great brushes make your makeup application so much easier. Look after them with these guys, and honestly, they will last a lifetime. If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Don't want you guys to miss anything, and do give the video a thumbs up for me. Thank you. Cheers and thanks and ta, as they say in the West Country. And yes, feel free to comment below if you wish. If you have any questions about brushes, how to use them or what they're for, then just ask away and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great week, everyone. Oh, before I forget, if you're wondering what this makeup look is, I'm rocking out the new Beach Nudes collection, which launched on Thursday of this week, and I am wearing the Beach Glow Sun-Kissed Pink eye palette. Look at that packaging. I can see it. Look, I can see the camera in it. Ah! But yes, they're beautiful, beautiful eye palettes of mattes and sparkles, and I'm also wearing the brand new bronzer. It is called Stone Street, after Eric Stone Street, the actor. It's a long story, I won't get into it, but it's a fabulous hybrid of golden and cinnamon tone bronzers to create a gorgeous everyday bronze. I'll list everything else I'm wearing, so if you're curious you can see. But yeah, that's all from me, guys. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.